Hey darters, so have you been practicing darts for a while but feel like you're really not making any progress or seeing the results that you want? In this video, I'm going to give you 10 practicing tips that you should be doing to get the most out of your practice routine and, bring your game to the next level. Let's get started. So the first practice tip is to keep a practice journal. Now, you may think that sounds a bit corny, but it really is a great way to stay disciplined and also a great way to track your progress. Let's face it, you can't gauge your improvements solely on based on how you finished at the last tournament or how you did at last week's league match. There's too many variables. Maybe your opponent was way better than you. A practice journal gives you progress in black and white without all the variables. Tracking each practice routine's results, like 3 months from now, you're going to see that it took you less starts to finish one of your routines. Now, progress you can track, it's progress you know that you've made, and that will make you a more confident player. Practice tip number 2, practice like you play. What do I mean by this? Practice with the same level of intensity that you would if you were in an actual match. Because if you're not concentrating when you're practicing and throwing with purpose, most likely without even knowing it, you're going to develop bad habits, lazy form, not following through, and not focusing. This is only going to hurt your game. Turn your phone off, leave it in the other room. The time you set aside for practice should be for practice only. Tip number 3, your practice routine should promote confidence. If you find your practice routine is frustrating or you're losing confidence with each practice session, that's counterproductive. Try dialing back your routine, trying something different, even switching to an easier version of what you're trying to accomplish. Remember, practice is not only for building skill, but also for building confidence. Number 4, mix it up. Don't do the same routine every day for a year. You are going to get bored and you're not going to be engaged in your practice routine. This is when you run the risk of, again, developing bad habits. Maybe one day work on your doubles, the next work on out combinations, the third day work on your cricket numbers. The more routines you have, the more you're going to be excited to get to that practice board every day. Tip number 5, frustration equals bad form. Don't continue practicing if you're getting frustrated. Remember, darts is a difficult game to master. It takes a lot of time and a whole lot of practice. If you continue to practice when you're frustrated or upset, you run the risk of, again, shooting with bad form and a bad mental state. Number 6, over-practice. So don't practice so much the first week that you end up burning yourself out, or aggravating an old injury. Slowly build your routine lengths. It's like preparing for a marathon. You don't start out running 26 miles the first day of training. You work up to it. I know you're thinking darts is no marathon. Well, it's not, but if you did play at every event, at a tournament, and run deep into each event, you could arguably be throwing darts for roughly 10 or 12 hours with little to no break. You do have to develop stamina to play game after game, both physically and mentally. Just don't try to get there in 1 week. Number 7, take a break. Sometimes the best practice is no practice at all. If you feel you aren't seeing the results that you're expecting and you're, kind of losing faith in the whole practice idea, just take a break. It's kind of like hitting the reboot button, Then when you get back to practicing, you're going to feel refreshed and have a better approach. Oftentimes, you will even be surprised at how good you throw after that break. Number 8, be realistic. Don't think that just because you practice this week that you're going to win that tournament on Saturday. In fact, it may take months of practice for you to see any improvement at all. This game, though it's easy to learn, it is not easy to master. And if you're really serious about becoming a great dart player, building your skills is going to take time. There are no shortcuts. Sorry. Number 9, set goals. Set small, achievable goals for yourself in practice. If you're going around the board on doubles and you start out using 100 darts to finish it, maybe just set a goal to get that number down to 90 a few weeks from now. Small goals are going to keep you engaged and keep you positive about your improvements. Okay, you're still here. You've stuck it out to the last tip, number 10. Good, because it's an important one. Find a practice partner. Solitary practice is definitely important, but finding someone on a similar skill level to practice with once in a while can be a great addition to your practice regimen. It gives you an opponent to play against without the high stakes of a tournament match. Sports teams do this all the time, right? They schedule scrimmages before the real season starts. These matches will help you identify weak areas of your game that you should focus on in the next solo practice. And, another benefit of playing a scrimmage match, it's getting comfortable playing an opponent, where you can, work out any nerves that you may have, or, just situations that come up when you're playing against someone versus just playing by yourself in your practice room. So, that is my 10 tips for practicing darts. Let me know if these tips are helpful to you. And more importantly, if you got something out of this video, tell the others. Anyway, share it, like it, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.